speed, or lack of it, kills deals, opportunities, your new leads. And it's crucial for sales organizations to be able to respond to customer inquiries, whether it's from existing customers or prospects, quickly and efficiently, right after they approach you. My name is Lauri Utila, and I'm the Wing Commander of Technology at Neurojet, where we build sales and marketing automations and custom cold email infrastructure for our clients. And in the past month, I've been already delivering several dozen of those custom setups for our clients. And what we've been looking at is means of, or what our clients have been asking is, how can we get faster at getting back to our customers and prospects and leads? And today we're going to talk about how you can achieve that when you're using email as an outreach method and trying to generate sales opportunities or sales meetings. So if you're a lead gen agency operator or you run a sales team that does cold outreach with email, this is for you. Title of the presentation is Never to Miss the First 5 Minutes with a Positive Response, or how to trigger and run any automation or workflow right after the prospect replies to you and your emails. And studies show, there's a famous Harvard Business Review study that shows that businesses who respond to leads in 5 minutes or less, 100 times more likely to connect and convert those opportunities. So think about that, 100 times. The reason behind that is when you think of yourself, you are responding or sending a message to a provider that you're interested in their services, you have a question about that, or you want them to contact you to tell more about their services or solutions, your attention span is probably the 5 minutes. And that's the most opportune time for the sales organization to get back to you and agree on the next steps or have the first conversation with you. And there's a couple of more shocking statistics. After the 5 minutes pass, the odds of connecting and qualifying the lead will drop dramatically. If you do respond within the first 5 minutes, the conversion rate increase is staggering, so close to 400%. One thing that's really shocking came out of the study by Harvard Business Review was that an average B2B lead response time was 42 hours. So almost like 2 full days. And no wonder that sales organizations are struggling with, they might be getting leads, but they're not getting responses from them because they're not replying. Let's talk about what is the problem with traditional email outreach setups with regards to speed and being able to respond as quickly as possible when it comes to leads coming from emails coming from your leads. If we take a look at here's a simple depiction of you sending an email to your prospect and then responding. Actually, what's happening is going through an inbound gateway. Some processing is going on, then it's going out from an outbound email gateway to the internet. So this is your side. And vice versa on the other side, on the recipient side, there's an inbound email gateway which will receive the message. Then there's some email processing and filtering going on, and then your message will be placed, hopefully, to the primary inbox of your recipient. And now if you look at the closely, when the hot lead gets back to you, the email will arrive to your email gateway, and then it will be processed by the content filters, and then it will be placed to the email store if it was not deemed spam or anything malicious. And now this happens fairly quickly. So once the sender presses send on their computer, you can expect this to happen usually within like 10 seconds or so. And now if you are using some kind of a sending tool or outreach system that usually works with your email accounts, they interact with the IMAP server. It's usually polling the email client on the system solution for new messages to come in. But this polling actually, it usually happens on an interval, maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It all depends on the system software that you're using. So you're already inducing lag in your response here. Then when he fetches the message, probably gets placed in some kind of processing queue where it will then get processed. And then there might be some kind of message evaluation, whether that message from the sender, your lead, was a positive reply or a negative reply or something else. Some kind of classification happens. And then that will trigger some automation for you. Maybe it sends a webhook to your automation, or then a notification to your email client or the web application that you're using. And then it's in your master inbox where your SDR can go on and process the message and respond to the client. And there's quite a few steps here in between, and all these queues are usually necessary to enqueue the work, because this is usually a software system that might be processing hundreds of thousands of emails per hour if there are a lot of users on that platform. And each of these steps will introduce lag in your process. So it's not unheard of to take 5 to 15 to even 45 minutes when the actual email lands on the email gateway of your server, of your email domain, to be processed and you being notified by an automation, or it appearing in the inbox managers or response management queue for responding. So this generates undue delay of you not being able to respond and react to the incoming leads as quickly as possible. So what we've been working on, figuring out how can we speed up this process. And the best way is to move the message evaluation and the positive reply detection all the way from down in the weeds to the front line, to the email gateway. And that's what we're working on in our system. So instead of having a huge processing pipeline and ultimately generating the positive reply event, we want to do it right away. So we've set up a system where an inbound email gateway actually contains all these necessary components to figure out whether that's a positive reply, and then forward the message or move the message forward. In the pipeline, we get the trigger notification of that being a positive reply, and we can right away either notify our team via custom automations or using an automation platform like Zapier or Make to trigger any of our custom automations. And obviously, we can trigger multiple events here, not just limited to one. What's happening inside this box is there's a campaign lookup store which will look up the recipient or the sender email, whether that's a lead that we're very interested in replying as quickly as possible. And if we find that it is, then it's their response, their message is evaluated immediately, categorized and classified by a large language model. And if that generates a positive reply event, or the evaluation is that this is a positive reply, that will be fed to the automation pipeline, which will then fire all the configured automations right away. And then we might do some filtering or forwarding maybe to a separate email address where all the positive replies should go, or any kind of other manipulation of the email contents before we move it on to the ESP inbound email gateway for delivery to your inbox and ultimately to your sales and marketing software. And the cool thing about this is that this works with any email service provider or any infrastructure setup that you might have, because we are simply plugging into the email routing chain and putting this response analyzer right where it needs to be, so we can generate the positive reply event as quickly as possible. So adding something like this will make sure that you will get the notification of a positive reply right after it lands on your server, and not when it's been processed multiple times and it's been sitting on queues undue time and generating lag before your sales reps can get back to the customer. So if you're interested in learning more about this, you want to go to this link, schedule a time with us, and we'll see whether this might be worthwhile for you. then I want you to go to maxdeliverability.com and sign up for our cold email newsletter, where we will share ideas like this and much more advice on how to improve your sales outreach via email for better deliverability and better responses from your leads. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.